8-hour drive from Toronto to Connecticut, Haley and I finally arrived. All right, first look at the room. Alright, so you guys saw the room. We're gonna settle in, get comfortable, take a shower, freshen up, because we're gonna be heading out to eat some dinner later, because we heard that Connecticut has amazing seafood. So right away we were looking for a spot to go have some like seafood boil type thing, and we actually got super lucky. Literally like 10 minutes from the hotel that we're staying at, they have the only place that has an all-you-can-eat seafood boil for a limited time. So you definitely know we're gonna have to go check that out. Now the place is kind of a few things. It has Korean barbecue and those things that you kind of get like a bowl and you make like your own thing in the bowl. We haven't tried that. But that's not what we're gonna be eating today. We are going in hard on the all-you-can-eat seafood boil. But I'm interested to see how good it's gonna be, because in Toronto we have this place called Captain's Boil, and it is absolutely amazing. If you guys have never gone, check it out. There's a few different locations, and I promise you guys, you will not regret it. But alright, we're gonna settle in, relax a little bit, then we're gonna be heading out for dinner, so you guys are gonna see that. I'm gonna be bringing you guys along with us. But alright guys, I'm gonna check back in with you guys in just a little bit. Maybe I'll check in after dinner and give you guys a little bit of a review of what we thought about it. But alright, let us get settled.
A few moments later.
Alright, we're gonna be heading out, and I just wanna say I apologize in advance for making you guys most likely hungry after you guys see this food. Alright guys, so I gotta say the food definitely lived up to expectations. Haley and I really had high expectations for this place. The menu looked amazing. Everything was delicious. We kind of had to try out a few different sauces because we didn't want to go too hot. So we started off with like some basic, I think it was just like some garlic. And then second batch, we went a little bit different, a little spicier. I think we got Cajun, I believe. But yes, the food was definitely amazing, super fresh. We got crawfish, you get 1 lobster tail. We got shrimps, clams. Shrimps and clams are our favorite, so we got a bunch of those. Now, one thing with me, you see a lot of people eating a lot of crawfish, but for me, I don't really find it worth it because for all the work that you have to do, you're really not getting anything out of it. But in this case, we got crawfish because it is all you can eat, so at least we're not paying for that and getting nothing out of it. But I do have a story to tell about our experience. So I will say again, the food was amazing, super fresh, but the experience we had was really strange. Okay, so as I've already said, Haley and I love seafood boil, we love seafood. And as we were sitting down, we ordered our first batch. She got a bag, I got a bag. And we started noticing that the staff was kind of being weird because we were like filming in there and stuff like that. So they were kind of like watching us, like trying to figure us out. So we get through the first batch, order the second one, and we start noticing a little more like anxiety from the staff, and they're like walking back and forth, like walking past us and not even like going anywhere, doing anything. They're just kind of like trying to observe us. Now, another thing with this second batch that we ordered, the first batch, as you guys can see, didn't come with any corn or potatoes. But by the second batch, they started throwing in corn and potatoes, which we did not order. I honestly didn't even see it on the all-you-can-eat menu, so I'm not sure where it came from. I think they were just trying to fill us up. But that's not what we were there for. We were there for the seafood, so I only literally took like 1 bite out of the potato, just for, you know, like a palate cleanser. But we left the potatoes and the corn behind. Now, things got even weirder as we continued on our all-you-can-eat experience. Now, it wasn't only our server that was kind of walking back and forth, like scoping us out. It was kind of everyone in that section that had been working there. It was like as if they were taking turns, or like someone was sending them like, hey, you go, I already went. Now, at first we thought maybe we were just kind of like being paranoid or making up this like whole story and situation like in our own heads. But it turns out we weren't exactly being paranoid at all. So anyways, we finish off the second batch and we order a little bit more food. And at this point, some time goes by and we're getting to the bottom of the bag, and a different person comes to the table. Now, this person was someone who was at the front desk. They were kind of like a greeter from what we can tell. They weren't actually a server. So she comes over and she asks us like, you know, is everything okay? And we're like, yeah, like we kind of found it weird. We're like, yeah, we'll just take the bill. So this place is one of those places that you have to go up to the cash to pay for your food, if you're gonna be paying with a card. Now, I don't know if you guys know this, but in the States, when you pay with a card, you literally just like tap it or put it in and it takes it out automatically. You don't need to insert a PIN. So Haley goes up to the cash, and let me just add how it works with all you can eat there is the 15% tip is already included in the total of your bill when it comes to the table. So Haley goes to the cash and is paying. I'm there finishing off the crawfish and just living my best life. So next thing I know, Haley comes around the corner towards the table and she's calling me over, and I could tell that something's happening. So I'm like, okay, like maybe, you know, the card's not going through or whatever the situation may be, because maybe the bank is like, someone's out in the States using your card, maybe they blocked it. So I clean up my hands from this crazy mess of all this sauce, and I walk over and I'm like, okay, like what's going on? Like what seems to be the problem here? Now at this point, when I get to the cash, the manager is standing beside 2 of the girls at the front counter. So as I approach, Haley's now kind of telling me what's going on, and the manager and one of the girls are speaking in their language to each other. And I could tell by the look on the manager's face, he's kind of lost. So right away I got super suspicious of what was going on, because his demeanor just seemed like, okay, whatever you're trying to do doesn't make sense. I'm not even getting it, whatever you're trying to explain to me. So that kind of put me slightly at ease that it wasn't going to be a bigger issue than it was. Now, as I'm asking what the problem is, what's going on, the manager starts to explain to me that 15% tip is added into the total bill. And I was like, yeah, absolutely. We read everything before we came. We knew that it's paid. We paid everything that we need to. We're all up to date. So now at this point, he's looking a little bit more lost and somewhat like frustrated. So he begins talking to the girl in their language once again. So he eventually ends up turning to me and saying, oh, I'm sorry. There was just a misunderstanding. You guys are all up to date. You guys are good to go. Now, come to find out what was really going on once we left and me and Haley were able to talk about it, she explained to me that as she paid everything, the 15% tip, everything, total, all good, up to date. The girl then said that was at the front that tip goes for the staff in the back or like the servers. Now, that's not the case. She was even running around with the receipt in her hand to the server, kind of yelling at him in their language, giving him a little bit of trouble. So when she had come back to the counter and Haley was dealing with her before I had got there, she was trying to explain to Haley that that tip is only for the servers and the people in the back, that she has to tip another 15% for them at the front. Let me just explain, that is not how it works. And this girl even went as far as to try and rip the card out of Haley's hand so that she can just tap it or insert it and the tip would automatically come out, because like I said, you do not need a PIN. So right there, number one, definitely do not take anyone's money or card out of their hand. That's super disrespectful and crossing a line. And her attitude was just absolutely terrible. Now, another thing, let me just add, when me and the manager were talking and trying to get to the bottom of it, Haley was kind of explaining behind me what the situation was to me because they were talking in their language. And then the girl went on to deny that she tried to take the card out of Haley's hand. Again, like I said, when we first went up, it was two girls and the manager. Now, the girl that was standing beside this girl that tried to pull this maneuver started to get really uncomfortable and kind of like getting space because she knew the girl was doing something wrong and she didn't support it. But of course, you guys are co-workers, you guys want to keep the peace, so she was just trying to like butt out of it and stay away and not be involved. But you can just tell by all of the body language, by the people around, the servers, the manager, the girl standing beside this girl that tried to pull the maneuver, you could tell that everyone was becoming uncomfortable that this girl got busted trying to take extra money. Now, I don't know what it was or why they tried to pull it, but like I said, we were in there filming, walking around with the camera, showing the place off. So I don't know if maybe they just had the wrong impression, and knowing that we're from Canada, maybe they just tried to pull one over on us. But it didn't happen. The manager was super chill about it. Everyone else was super chill about it. So how it ended is the manager said it was just a misunderstanding. I shook his hand. I said, thank you for your patience. And we walked out. But with that being said, it was an adventure of a dinner. Food, again, was absolutely amazing. So one thing I want to say to you guys, if you guys are ever in Connecticut, definitely go try the seafood, go try the sushi, anything with fish and stuff like that. It is super fresh, as long as you go to a nice place, obviously. But yes, it definitely lived up to our expectations. But all right, now we're just gonna unwind and chill. I'm so full, so I'll catch up with you guys in the next video. Peace.
In part 3 of our road trip, you guys will get a glimpse into a small part of our investigation into the Union Cemetery in Connecticut. There's many stories and sightings of the lady in white. Now, not only were we able to investigate the Union Cemetery, but we were invited exclusively into the Warrens Occult Museum, and were face to face with the world's most haunted doll, Annabelle.